One Percenter Podcast with Sam Bakhtiar, bringing you the 1% knowledge to help you reach your full potential. Learn what it takes to rise above the 99% and become a 1%er.
Hey, what's going on? It's Sam Bakhtiar, the host of 1% Podcast, and I definitely have a 1%er here, Joshua Eliano. What's happening, man?
Good, nice to be here.
Now, Joshua, for those people who are watching this on YouTube, this is your before and after picture. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
It's real.
So overall, you lost, 180 pounds?
180 pounds.
Okay. You went to the camp and you lost 125 pounds in 1 year.
In 1 year.
Okay. So I want to talk about this whole journey.
Okay.
From the beginning, I want to know, when did you first notice that, sorry, man, I don't want to be mean or not, but you were the fat kid?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, really early on. And I think, especially me, my personality is super receptive to, things going on around me and noticing I'm different from other people.
So how old were you?
I mean, honestly,
as soon as you remember opening your eyes, right?
Yeah.
As soon as you remember, like what would it be, like first grade, kindergarten?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, maybe I'll say like third grade.
Third grade, you remember, yeah. So
definitely.
So growing up, as a bigger kid, you know what I mean? Probably wasn't really a happy place to be. Did you experience any negative talk from your peers? Bullying, making fun of you. Did they do that?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like from grade school when you're younger, it's a little, I guess it's a little bit more innocent, but you're definitely one who's sort of the butt of the jokes. And then even in middle school, I think middle school was the hardest because that's sort of the first change where, you're leaving a little bit of your childhood friends behind. And you're kind of getting, so that's where sort of like the bullying onslaught really came in.
And obviously all the way through high school.
All the way through high school, yeah.
So you battled, being heavy pretty much as long as you remember. So what do you attribute that? Do you attribute that to eating bad, or do you attribute that to some genetics, maybe your family, family is overweight naturally, or was it a combination of both? What is it? I mean, let's talk about your siblings. Are they overweight?
Yeah. No, they're not. No.
Okay.
So add that on top of, maybe things I was experiencing at school and being bullied, then, being in my family.
You use food to cope.
Yeah, and then just being different, because, like you're saying, none of my family were obese or overweight. So even then, just being like, different. But what I attribute it to, I didn't know at the time, but at least now looking back, a combination of things, because you don't get to that size without having some sort of deeper
some psychological things and all that kind of stuff.
So maybe just like the bullying part of things. We grew up, me and my family grew up poor and on welfare, so like access to the right foods.
I mean, cheap food is cheap. You know what I mean? Bad food is cheap. Like you can go get a lot for $1.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A lot of junk for $1, but good quality, food costs a little more. So I totally get that.
The convenience, something you could just microwave really quick after school or just snack on. So that was definitely sort of my routine.
Got it. So you grow up, kind of overweight. When did you start intervening? Maybe I should diet, exercise. What was the first time, that you say, you know what, I'm overweight, I need to exercise, I need to diet? When was that? When was your first time experiencing that?
Yeah, maybe the first time on my own, kind of just like, let me go do something, was after college. So getting
so you didn't do nothing through high school,
not on my own. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were in college. Sometime in college, you decided to do something, and what was that?
Yeah, and actually it was even after college, because I think that's where I got my heaviest. I was always heavy, but that's just where I sort of blew up, because once you get to college, it's sort of no routine, no schedule at all. You sort of rearrange your schedule, and how you want it to. So it was when I got into my first job post-college, so immediately after graduation, when, I sort of took, matters in my own hands to at least try something.
Okay, and what was that?
So I started, at that time, just being the size that I was at, there was a lot of self-conscious.
Of course.
You know, so
of course. I can only imagine.
Yeah, so I didn't.
You
so
want to go
how
to
I
the
started,
gym or nothing like that. So
didn't want to go outside.
So it sounded like you did something at home.
So it was all at home.
Okay,
to
what was
start.
it?
So what I did actually, the first thing I did was just for any activity. At the time, the Wii.
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
remember that was a big thing?
That's a pretty good exercise if somebody actually sticks to it and do it.
Yeah. So I started with that.
Do they still have that?
I think so. Or I think that
I think
it's
pretty
evolved.
clever. I think it's pretty clever.
Right. So, but it was good. It was like the video game, and then you get some movement in. But there was like the dancing game. So you're moving, and that's been like one of my sort of
It's one of your passions, right?
one of my
Dancing, like
passions.
hip hop, dancing, and all that stuff.
Yeah, like a deferred passion. But that was a good outlet, and so I started there because that kept it at home. I was getting some activity in, and unseen from
Yeah, absolutely. And
the
did it work?
world. So from there, started losing a little bit of weight. And then I remember we had a treadmill randomly in our garage. So
You started getting on there.
started getting on that. And then as I felt a little bit more comfortable and then slowly started losing, did I get a membership to our local YMCA.
Okay, so how much did you lose by doing the Wii and the treadmill?
For that one, I lost, I think I lost almost just under 100 pounds.
You lost 100 pounds? So, okay, this is right after college. So you lost 100 pounds by just moving.
Just moving.
Okay, so
that's basically my first time moving.
so for those of you who are listening to this or watching this, you know what I mean? This is a very important lesson to learn. All you did, you took action.
Yeah.
You took action and you stuck with it, and you didn't really do much with your diet, huh? You just started moving.
I did change my diet a little bit, but it first started with the movement part.
So you lost 100 pounds in how long?
Oh man, it was rapid at that point. I think it was
because you're young, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
metabolism
I think it was in like the half a year.
Half a year, you lost 100 pounds. That's fantastic. Now, what happened? Because obviously you gained it back.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that.
Yeah. So what didn't work there is, there was no sort of rhyme or reason to it, right? I just did what I thought needed to be done. Eat less, which is true to an extent, and then get moving. But since it was just me on my own, I had no knowledge of how they work together. Of course, I saw results, but it wasn't something that could be sustained.
Okay, so then you went to the Y, right? You went to the Y, and then I believe you said you hired a trainer.
Yeah. So then I got a trainer just so I could know a little bit of how
learning the proper exercise form, nutrition,
how to do things with weights. And from there, saw some good things, but then also got complacent in a sense. Now that I had this sort of personal trainer that I was working with, I could sort of feel,
like he's helping me.
Entitled that I could.
I cannot eat so clean, and I can,
because I got this personal trainer that I'm going to see next week, so it's fine. But I think from that, just jumping right into it, not really having that sort of knowledge or education behind it, ultimately, I think I just got burnt out, and I wasn't, doing it correctly, the weight loss. So that's why it led to a point where it started going back up.
So did your trainer ever say, hey, you're gaining weight, what's up?
Yeah, but see, then at that point, it's like, you're the one who sort of sought the trainer out. And so when I didn't want to hear those things, I was like, okay.
So you just didn't show up.
Yeah.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So what happened after that? After that, did you just go back to your old ways and gain the weight back, and I'm sure you've tried other things. What else have you tried?
Yeah, so I mean, I definitely gained the weight back. I stopped doing the things I were doing. The one thing I sort of held on to was, okay, at least I'm not at where I started, and that was sort of the thing that kept me going. But I was pretty close.
But that's such a low standard to have.
Yeah, that's a low standard to have.
That's a low standard to have. I think you should always try to better yourself at your best.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like whatever you were at your best, you should better yourself. But I see what you mean. That was like, just to make yourself feel good.
Yeah, that was the excuse I was using at that time. So I definitely got myself back up and was telling myself that, okay, well, at least I'm not where I was. But yeah, to your point, I wasn't happy with that. And so, I mean, some things I tried were, again, just like working out on my own. Now that I now that I have since like gone to the gym and like learned some things from a personal trainer, I was more comfortable going out to the gym on my own. So, I would do that.
Did you try anything drastic? Did you try any like, any, I don't know, cleanse, Jenny Craig, anything, anything, those diets, or anything that will stand out? Because sometimes, man, out of desperation, people will do anything. You know what I mean?
Not after that point. I think the thing when I tried on my own, I think that one was the drastic because, even now looking back,
you went crazy because you were in pain at that time. You were in pain. You were just sick and tired of being sick and tired. You're like, I'm just going to get this off. I'm going to do it myself.
Yeah.
You went there with the eye of the tiger, but you kind of burned yourself out. Losing that much weight in 6 months is no joke for anything. And I don't think is even healthy, but you did it. It was better than nothing. But then it's hard to, like you said, to sustain it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, so when did you finally said, after doing this, man, this is not working. Enough is enough. I got to make a drastic change. I got to make shit happen. And I got to get this once and for all.
Yeah. So, I mean, a series of things, and then that's sort of where the camp entered. It was, I think it was the end of 2016 because I started my challenges in 2017. But it was just sort of the end of the year. You're just sort of in that natural time of reflection for me. My birthday is in February, so that was on the horizon, and it was going to be my 30th birthday coming up. And I don't know, just that in that natural reflection, I was just like, wow, this is really how I spent my 20s, like sort of a prisoner in my body, not really living life. And so that was really a moment that I had, and I didn't want to go. So again, this is the end of the year. I was like, I don't want to go into the next year, the next decade.
Yes. I want to start the 30s, doing it right and getting it, getting it done.
So it's a bit, I mean, it's a little like deep there, but I mean, that was the moment that I had.
That's what I want because I'm telling you right now, what you said is so many people can identify with that.
Yeah.
Because the New Year resolution. Oh, that my 20s now. Now you see those, these memes.
Yeah.
20s was a warm up. 30s was the, like you see those all the time.
Yeah.
So but you didn't actually post it or talked about it. You did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You did it. So you went to the camp. You signed up. You did all these challenges. So tell me your whole experience. Like you went to the camp. What were you expecting? Did you, did you get your ass kicked the first day?
Yeah.
Kind of like, give me like, how it all happened. And how'd you find out about the camp anyway?
So I think like a lot of people heard about it through social media. And so again, this was the end of 2016. So it's grown a lot since then. But at that time too, it was a lot more of the, I think I saw the ads. And to be honest, if we're speaking candidly, I was a bit wary of it. I was like, what is this?
Of course,
it's like 20 pounds in this. It's like,
of course,
what's
everyone,
going on?
I mean, as you should. I mean,
Yeah.
the natural reaction is, are you serious,
Yeah, but so that's how I heard about it, through social media. So I knew about it for a while. It wasn't until later in the year that I had a friend who actually...
That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
That actually did the program.
Who actually did the program
Yes.
and was able to vouch that
It's
real.
Yeah, it was legitimate.
It's
program.
real.
Yeah, it's legitimate. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. That's usually people was like, always wait. I see it. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's too good to be true until they talk to somebody who's actually went and did the challenge and like, oh man, this is the real deal.
Yeah, so I knew about it for a while, but it wasn't until that moment that sort of that real person that I could at least talk to.
It's the real testimonial from somebody who you know.
Yeah, and at that time too, I mean, they're everywhere here in Southern California, but specifically in San Diego. I think we had the one or two.
Yeah.
So there wasn't much, but now, there's a whole network of people that you could, refer to and get that sort of vouch.
We knew from the very beginning, Joshua, that we're not in the business of signing people up and wishing they don't come.
Yeah.
Like most gyms do. We want to make sure. That's why on the agreement, on the challenge agreement, it says you have to be here 5 days a week. You have to change your challenge profile because you want to tell the whole world what you're doing, and you have to check in so we know you're here. So we're focusing on you just showing up for 42 days. Because we know once you show up for 42 days and follow a healthy nutritional program like we do, it's not rocket science. You are going to, get in shape. You are going to lose body fat. You are going to lose weight, and you're going to feel much better. Yeah. And obviously, you experienced that, and now, it's so funny because now you work at the camp. You work at the camp, and now your weight loss is inspiring so many other people, and I'm sure you get hit up all the time. How'd you do it? Or people who once were in your shoes before, and thought it was impossible. Now you can pull up your before and after picture like we have up right now, and look, I did it, so can you. You know what I mean? And that's such an amazing thing because now you experienced ultimate form of success, which is significance. Now your success has helped others become successful, which is the highest form of success, man. I want to congratulate you, man. That's amazing. So, tell me about the first day at the camp. Because I tell you right now, man, camp kicks my ass. Yeah. You know what I mean? So on the first day at the camp a couple of times, man, I remember I was like breathing hard and all that kind of stuff. How did it feel?
It's crazy because I still remember every experience really well from that first orientation to the nutrition seminar to my first day at the camp. So specifically the first workout of the camp, I kind of went in really confident because I felt like, okay, I've worked out on my own. I've been to a gym. I've done the same. I'm obese, but I'm not like the other obese people. Like I could move.
I got cardio.
Yeah, I got cardio. And then I learned right away that no, this is different. It was hard, but yeah, I just remember just getting through that first class, and then wondering if, man, is this something I could do? Because I knew too, where from the challenges what my goals were, and after that first class, I wasn't too sure. I was like, we'll make it happen.
I don't know about this, man.
It was tough.
But you showed up and you followed the program.
Yeah.
And here you are, like I said, in 1 year span, you lost 125 pounds, right? And now you're focusing on putting a little more muscle tone on, and and be able to get a little more tone and more stronger now.
Yeah, working on changing the program a little bit that way. Definitely muscle. Even like it's crazy too, because then I could say, even working on the aesthetic. Like I've never thought that would be a thing.
That was my next question.
Right.
Did you ever thought, like I said, that when you were 360 pounds, initially, I mean, you said you probably went higher, but you just didn't, weigh yourself.
Yeah.
But, recorded 360 was your highest. Did you ever think you'd be in this kind of shape, and and you'd be here now, helping other people and inspiring other people to lose weight?
No, not at all. It still amazes me with each sort of new experience or activity or interaction. Because I mean, I think too, when it's like a lifelong of being in that sort of weight and having those issues, there's also a moment of acceptance. Like, okay, this is my life. This is as good as it gets.
Yeah, man. I hate when people say that. You can never accept anything until you give it 100% all.
Until that happened. And then it did happen. But at that point, no. So I did make that, my acceptance at that point. So I never would have imagined I'd be doing, any of this, any of that, and even working at the camp at all.
So from what I read about you, not only that you lost the weight and things like that, now you push yourself by doing like Spartan races and all that kind of stuff. Is that right?
Yeah.
Are you serious? Like you've done a Spartan race?
Yeah. So I just did my fourth one this past weekend.
Shit.
Yeah, but it was crazy because actually my first one ever was, so 2017, that whole calendar year, I did my challenges and was rolling over little by little, January to December. I had my final way out, December something of 2017. And then that weekend was my first Spartan. So I don't know. And then I remember too.
Did you almost die?
I got it. I had it. I think
that's
thanks
pretty cool.
to, yeah.
You're in shape.
No, I had it.
Man, that scares me.
But crossing the finish line that first race, I remember I teared up and cried crossing over, and this is a true story. And I think it was just emotions were high because I had just weighed out, like my final weigh out from my very last challenge the day before, and now
You went right to Spartan.
right to Spartan because it too is like, great, the transformation. Now, that's kind of like part one. Now, do something like, what can your body do now? And so that's what that first Spartan was.
Speaking of that, so you've done like 4 Spartans, and how you are now. What's next for you? Like obviously, what is the next target? What are you looking forward to? Physically, what are you trying to do now?
Yeah, I mean, keep on doing those things, and honestly, it's the upkeep, right? People always ask me, especially coming into the camp. I always get comments about, oh, this is great, and everything like that. But it's still a challenge for me, right? It's the challenge of life. So my goals really is to never go back.
Thank you for bringing that up, because you lead me to the next question.
Yeah.
My next question to you was, obviously you lost the weight and gained it back. Did you do it one time, or did you do it several times? Throughout your whole, so far. Because I know of one time, but have you done it more than once?
I mean, significant. I think that was
a big thing. But you've done little ones here, back and forth,
little
20, 30
ones,
pounds here, back and forth. Whatever.
Yeah, little ones here.
Got it. So now that you're here, what can you say that you've learned, or have you? How can you now maintain this the rest of your life? Because look, we all know. I mean, I'm not impressed. I'm impressed with your weight loss, but I'm not impressed if you gain it back.
Yeah.
I'm impressed by somebody who can lose weight and maintain healthy for the rest of their life. What systems have you put in place for yourself to maybe be able to make sure? I know you work at the camp now, so you're around that area, around that community. They're going to keep you accountable.
Yeah.
They're going to let you know if you gain 5 pounds. Hey man, you gained 5 pounds. We need to get going.
Yeah.
But what have you done for yourself?
Yeah, and I think too that's the difference, and I feel it, and I am experiencing it from this weight loss to maybe any success, that I've had in the past, is that I sort of have a better understanding, that education piece. And that's always what I say when I talk to people who are asking about the challenge or asking about my experience, is my takeaway is that education that I could use well after the challenge and still do. So when you ask me, how do I ensure that I sort of keep this going? Okay, well, now I know, from the meal plan and things like that, at least how to, work
Prepare
in my
meals,
prepare meals, thinking about
I would say
carbs and food. And
I'm listening to you, and I'm hearing awareness.
yeah, for sure.
You're aware that you need to exercise, and you're aware that you need to make better choices.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But by you just being aware of that, that's more than 99% of people. Now, what can you guarantee me right here, right now, that you'll never go back to the old you? Can you guarantee me? For sure, 100%, say, man, I will never be that person that I used to be.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I guarantee you,
Okay.
I'll never be that person ever again.
Awesome.
Promise.
Awesome. For those of people who are watching this, I mean, this is getting streamed in every possible channel, so for people who are listening, people who are watching, and, they were maybe, 180, 200 pounds overweight, they think that, this is just how it's going to be. This is, God just meant me to be this way.
Yeah.
We always say that, right?
Oh, yeah.
God just made me
That sounds
this way.
familiar.
I'm big boned. You give yourself every excuse, to not. What would you say? What would you say? Because I mean, it's one thing I say it, but I haven't been in your shoes.
Yeah.
I haven't lost 180 pounds.
Yeah.
What would you tell them? What do they need to do? As far as their mindset, what kind of action would you tell them to take to be able to get to where you are and and maintain it?
Man, a few things. I just think back to what I did and what helped for me. Obviously, starting with the challenge, I knew the goal that I needed to, and it was it was a little overwhelming. I never thought that I would be at that weight, and so actually, even going into my first challenge, I was, I sort of accepted the fact early on, saying, okay, maybe if I could just get like 50 pounds, that'll be good to jumpstart. Then, lo and behold, I made it down to the goal weight, well past the 50.
And that's exactly now why in our agreements, we have, you got to get within your, within very close to your normal healthy weight, because we had people like you come join a challenge who had, over, 150 pounds, 180 pounds to lose, and they lose like 30 or 40. They're like, I'm good right now.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a second, you're not good.
Yeah.
This is not a transformation.
Yeah.
A less worse version of you is still a worse version.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's why we, over the time when we were evolving with our system, we want to make sure that we don't prevent anyone, from self-sabotaging, because in our mind we always say, well, it's good enough. Maybe I can just get away from this and just relax now, and that's what we don't want.
Yeah, and then two, it's knowing that you have a goal. It's good to have that goal because you know where you need to head. But for me, if I were going to tell people, and especially those watching at home who are yet to embark on their journey, don't be so defeated or overwhelmed by that ultimate number. Yes, be cognizant of it, but then just break it down into digestible chunks. And so that's definitely something that I told myself, and I continue to tell people.
That is huge. For those of you who are listening, he said, look, set a goal. Don't get overwhelmed by your goal, and just figure out what you need to do. Break it down into smaller steps. This is exactly how you set goals and you crush your goals.
Yeah.
Okay. Say, for example, if you wanted to lose, let's just say 100 pounds in a year, right? So if you want to lose 100 pounds in a year, what do you need to do? Okay, how many weeks are there in a year? There's 52 weeks in a year, right? So you need to lose 2 pounds a week, every single week for 52 weeks. So make that as a plan, break it down. So if you need to lose 2 pounds a week, what do you need to do every day for you to be able to get there, and break it down to a daily simple actions for you to get to the long goals. A lot of people look at it, oh my God, 100 pounds, oh my God, 100 pounds, how am I going to do that? But when you break it down, it's simple.
Yeah, and then just set up your benchmarks, in between ultimately.
I love how you broke that down, right? That's genius.
Yeah, so that, and then two, so that's something I like to stress for people is when you break it down, something that's doable in time, you'll for sure get there. And then one thing that I also like to tell people, and this is something that I told myself throughout the journey and I still do, is what helped me a lot is just different sort of, mantras really, and, sayings and quotes just to keep me motivated.
Tell me some of your sayings.
So something,
I'm interested.
Yeah, one thing that, especially with the challenge, that helped, because this could be, and this was sort of the backfall, in times that, I've tried before and failed. But there's a quote, success is never certain, failure is never final. Yeah. And so I took that with me the whole time because, there's going to be stumbles along the way. And I think previous me, as soon as, maybe I fell off or did this or that.
You really fell off, right?
Yeah, then it's like, okay, well, might as well, throw the towel in, it's all done.
Yeah.
But, it's never final, or it's never final. You could always keep going and,
you fall back, get back up.
Get back on. And then also, too, the other part of that is success is never certain. And so, which is why I try to tell people, too, is, I've completed the challenge. I did my transformation, but I'm not done because success is never certain. It's not going to stay that way just because I got there. I still need to put in the work to keep it there.
Well, I mean, look, you take a shower every day. You brush your teeth every day. You need to exercise every day.
Yeah.
And exercise doesn't mean going to the gym and killing yourself. Just move. Just move. People. I walk. If I don't go to the gym, I go for a walk. I'm physically active. And that's what's more important. As long as you're aware that you need to move and move on a regular basis, that's what's that's what's really needed. You know what I mean? That's. Is there anything that you would say that will be your secret sauce, your secret to success? What made you different, to be successful in a challenge? Anything, any pro tip, because you've done so many of them.
Yeah, that one's hard too because when people ask, is it doable? Yeah, for sure it's doable. But on the individual level, do I know that it's doable? Because I know the effort that I put in.
Yeah.
I know the dedication. I made a lot of sacrifices. I don't know
it's doable if you
wanted to do it.
Want to do it.
But as far as the
it's
secret,
kind of a challenge for a reason too, right?
Yeah.
It's a challenge. It's not 6-week cakewalk.
Yeah.
6-week walk in the park. You know what I mean? Come on, man. I mean, you have to challenge and so many people have either the challenge has broke them, and so many people have come up so much better out of them. You know that. You see that firsthand.
Yeah. And even then, when you're broken, that's where that peace comes in. And that's sort of
fix yourself back up. And get
yeah,
back up.
you're never too far gone.
I love that. You're never too far gone.
Never too far gone. You could always get back on.
So during all this time you did a challenge and stuff like that, have you ever fall off a meal or you had a weak moment? Maybe you had a cheat meal where you're like, oh gosh, you fell off obviously, and then you regroup back and went back to work.
Yeah. So for the year of challenges, I was definitely really strict to FTDI the first all my challenges for sure.
But at some point in time, something happened. You're like, all right, man.
Yeah, it wasn't until late. I remember my first cheat off of it too, because I also journaled my whole experience on Instagram, and so there's a post about it. But I remember it was Easter in 2017, and I had a bite of the candy or whatever, and that was the first one, and so that was kind of, I guess, 4 months in if I started in January. And I remember feeling badly for sure. And I think before it would have been, okay, I had this,
let me do more.
Let's just keep it going.
More, yeah.
But no, I think, but by that time, just the dedication already put in, the sacrifices already made, it wasn't worth it. And again, it was like, okay, cool, that happened. Let's keep it moving.
That's badass, man. Badass.
Yeah.
All right, so I have some slides of you, and I want you to tell me, what are these slides for? What does this picture represent?
All right, so this one was not my most recent Spartan from this past weekend, but the one from a couple months ago. And so, I don't know, this one was probably my third or fourth one in. And to me, it just represents, even thinking about my first one, here I'm smiling. The first one was like, oh man, can I really do this? And then now it's sort of like,
you've been there, you've been down that road.
Yeah, it's confirmed. It's like, I got this.
Yeah. And obviously, this is your before and after picture. You say you're probably heavier than this before.
Yeah, I don't even think that's my heaviest yet, because then you get to a point where
you like don't even weigh yourself.
Don't weigh myself. Yeah. Don't take any of my pictures. So I think I even blew up more than that.
Kind of like when my bank was overdrawn. I'm like, I don't even want to see what I have. I have nothing. You know what I mean? I don't. What am I going to look at my bank statement for? There's nothing there. You know what I mean?
It's just like hope for the best. Hope for the best.
And is this when you lost 100 pounds that you celebrated?
Yeah, so this was they surprised me at my home camp with the board, the transformation board. I remember it was a pack the camp that, you all do the first Saturday of the month. And I wasn't expecting anything because, and two, we didn't get to touch on it, but I've turned it into a family affair, right? So that's all my family there. And so they've routinely come to the camp, done some challenges themselves. And so I didn't think anything of it when all my family was there for Pack the Camp, because it was Pack the Camp. Yeah. And then at the end of the class, they present the board. So that was really...
How does it feel to be up on the wall in the gym?
Inspiring
people. How does it feel, man?
It's good. And what's crazy too is I remember going into orientation, and they have the boards out from past experiences. And I remember I was like, these aren't real people.
Gosh, you really thought that?
I did.
You think we like fabricating?
Oh yeah, you know. I did.
That'd be real.
But yeah, so everyone at home, it's real. It's real people. I could attest now.
Oh my God. I always wondered, I always wondered, what people think. You know what I mean? And I know, like online, I know online there's a lot of people, shysters, especially when it comes to weight loss industry. There's so many people are preying on the weak, because people who are overweight, they're not feeling good about themselves, they're weak and they're vulnerable, and they take advantage of them. But I never thought you'd come into a physical gym with physical signs. Oh my God, just fabricated. But
because it was amazing,
right?
too.
Yeah.
But in my orientation, someone who was in the board was actually there. Yeah. So it wasn't too long that I felt that way.
No, but it's really good. It's really good because I'm so into it.
Yeah.
It's good to see how the perspective is from the outside. What they would think.
But then too, so from that day, from that orientation, when I saw, quickly I was like, oh, this is not a real person, to, oh, this is a real person. I remember that day in orientation, I was like, all right, I'm gonna get on the wall. I'm gonna get on the wall. I mean, I had no control of who gets put on the wall, but I was like, somehow I'm gonna make that happen.
Get on the wall. No, that was one of your goals.
Yeah, and so this was actually a really, so this was well after my challenges, so a couple months after to get it. But it was a great moment.
What is this?
This is just some of, so with the camp too, right, you just, the AFF, also is real. Friends, right? So honestly, that's where my social circle is now, and even beyond, it starts as you see them in class, then you start working out. And then, so this one's actually my birthday. So from earlier this year. So nothing to do with the gym, nothing to do with the camp, but those bonds are still there. So that's a picture there.
That is amazing. And look at how good you look here, man. You look probably, 15 to 20 years younger than when you were, 350, 360 pounds, So here we go, man. I mean, Joshua Eliano, lost 180 pounds total, right? 125 pounds in 1 year. Somebody who grew up overweight, lost 100 pounds the unhealthy way, gained it back, then was frustrated, lost a little bit here, a little bit there, go back and forth, couldn't find a way to lose weight, got sick and tired, saw the ads on Facebook, still didn't go until met somebody who actually went to the camp, went to the orientation, looked at the before and after picture and still didn't think this was real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now
I was fighting it.
Now he's literally Mr. Beast mode. Not only like he's not lost his weight, he's doing Spartan challenges. Now he works at the camp, and inspiring other people and helping people. His family has joined and has lost tremendous amount of weight. Man, I'm so proud of you, man. I'm so proud of you. For people who want to follow you for inspiration. For people, because this is getting streamed all over the world. Where can they find you on Instagram and Facebook?
Yeah, so like I mentioned, as soon as I started the challenge, I set up a separate Instagram account just to photo journal it, because I thought that was the difference maker too, because the accountability aspect, you got to make it public facing, because if I fail in private, then no one knows.
Absolutely. And you got to make it public.
You got to make it public.
Everybody's going to root for you, and everybody's going to push you when you don't. When the day comes that you need a little push.
Yeah, you need that accountability. But you could go find that at Instagram at GoJoshi, and just scroll all the way down. You can see from my first day at the camp is my very first post.
GoJoshy.
Yeah, GoJoshy.
Awesome. So go Joshi. Make sure you go follow him. He's lost 180 pounds. And for those of you who think it's impossible, for those of you who are thinking that it's not, you're ready to just accept, defeat, don't. Don't. Anybody can make a difference. And I've had 63-year-olds come in and lose 23 pounds or so in 6 weeks. So we have had people go through cancer, chemo treatment, go through the 6-week program and crush it. We have people, that are in wheelchair, that come in and crush the 6 pounds. So as long as you have the will and the drive and the motivation and the community, that's what's going to happen, man. Joshua, It was a pleasure and honor to have you on the show.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. You demonstrated that you're 1%. As a matter of fact, you were like a 0.0001%
Cool.
because
I'll take
you know,
it.
180 pounds is no defeat. Thank you so much for coming here. And for you guys that are listening there, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you forward this to someone that needs it, someone that's going to change their life. I really appreciate you for joining in. God bless. We'll see you soon.